Haris. It's manned by his assistant, Yusuf Ali. Yusuf confirms to Sami that Haris's main source of funds is government contracts from Bangladesh.
কোন ধরনের ব্যবসা উনি ইনভলভ কোন ধরনের কাজ উনি
এটা আসলে ওই যে মিনিস্ট্রি বা এই সমস্ত বা আরো সরকারি লেভেলের কোন দামদা করছে এগুলো আমার ধারণা।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
হয়তো মামু লাগবে না হয় মামুর জোর লাগবে।
A letter from the Bay of Bengal company contains a proposal for a consignment of military bunk beds. It's addressed to the Director General of Border Guards Bangladesh, the BGB. It's dated November 2015. The Director General of the BGB is Haris's brother, Aziz. Patronage appears to provide Haris with ample earning opportunities.
গত ইলেকশনে তো আমার সামনে দেখছি কতজনে দান দেখো উনারে যে বলছে ভাই আমার একটা নমিনেশন দিয়ে দেন আমি 5 কোটি টাকা দেব
সিরিয়াসলি
Yusuf says that Haris acts as a middleman and fixes army contracts for the right price.
তো হাসান মিয়া এগুলো ইচ্ছা করলে মানে ব্যক্তিগতভাবে কিছুটা আমি ক্লিয়ারলি বলতে পারবো না কি 2-4 কোটি টাকা এই 2-4 কোটি না 30-40 কোটি টাকা মিনিমাম কামাই নিছে কয়েকদিনে
30-40 কোটি টাকা
The I Unit obtains evidence that Haris Ahmed is establishing an investment portfolio outside of Hungary. Using the same false identity, he builds a French business empire. In 2018, he buys a stake in a company which deals in computers and IT. The company has 2 registered offices. One on the outskirts of Paris sells mobile phones and offers international money transfer services. The pace picks up in 2019. In the space of just 7 months, Haris buys stakes in 4 more companies. In April, he found Snigdha, which owns a fast food outlet. Then in May, he buys a stake in a retail company called TPTY. He sells it shortly after. This pattern and style of doing business is not inconsistent with money laundering.
The construction of companies, company types, jurisdictions, bank accounts, the whole range of activities that he has been involved in are entirely consistent with schemes put together to funnel criminal funds through the system in order to make them look legitimate. There is absolutely the ability to hide in plain sight, so the busier the financial centre, the easier it is to lose a bit of dirty money in it.
In June 2019, he registers the Bay of Bengal in France, which owns an Indian restaurant. And in November, another new company called Info Bay of Bengal. This store is at the company's registered address. He's connected to 3 properties in the Paris suburbs, including one with an estimated value of nearly $500,000. Corporate filings reveal a buying spree by Haris, who's moving money into France under his fake European Union residency.
It's introducing the money into the system, layering, moving that money between lots of different companies and countries, and then integration, putting it back into the real economy. Well, what better place to put it back into than property? It is the traditional home of dirty money.
Haris's role as a middleman includes working with private companies in Europe that wish to invest in Bangladesh. Mohammed Rahman, the Canadian businessman, comes to help Haris negotiate a potential deal worth a fortune. Haris and Rahman are told that British financiers are looking to invest millions of dollars in the hotel trade in Bangladesh. Sami organizes a video conference with a British investment firm. Haris uses his assumed name.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Hello.
Hey, gentlemen.
I'm
Yes, hello.
Hi. Mom Hassan.
Mohammed, pleased to meet you.
So my name is Mr. Rahman from
Rahman.
Canada, Vancouver.
Pleased to meet you too.
But this is not what it seems. The representative of the investment firm is working for the I-Unit.
To do something in Bangladesh is really great idea, but there's some problems because of still there's political issues and a little bit corruption. So of course, although the country is coming up has such a problem. But good things for Mr. Hassan because he is very well connected with the high officials, very connected with the government, especially the Prime Minister herself.
In return for his high-level contacts, Haris demands a commission of 20%.
Just 1 second, please.
He breaks down the fake investment proposal.
100,000 euro, dollar or euro, or 100 billion. এটা ইনভেস্ট করতে হবে যদি 5 স্টার বা এনি বিজনেস যা করতে চায় ফর ল্যান্ড বাই পারচেজ এত মিলিয়নের নিচে কোনো মানে সুইটেবল ওই ধরনের ব্যবসা হবে না আমাদের যেটা উই টেক 20% ফর অল লিকুইডেশন
Then Rahman spells out how they work.
Then he will send this letter to his elder brother and will officially visit your place to talk a little bit more. If needed, we'll call our High Commission in London. So High Commission people also will be in the meeting to make it real official something. Then he can take this proposal to our Prime Minister and the army chiefs, which looks better and solid and concrete. So his company will be your consultant for Bangladesh. Basically, at this moment, his elder brother is running the country, in fact, because our Prime Minister leave everything to army chief to run the country for the big developments. This is his brother, actually.
Sheikh Hasina must call an election. A year earlier, she'd appointed Aziz head of Border Guards Bangladesh. As her Awami League government faces election defeat, the BGB becomes involved in overseeing the vote.
Aziz was head of the BGB. His role was to quieten the opposition, prevent them taking control of the streets, preventing them being a political force which the government couldn't deal with. He was very proud of that, and he said that he was the one who handed those elections to Sheikh Hasina. And it was a very crucial moment. It was very possible at that time that the Awami League government could have fallen.
A few years later, Sheikh Hasina visits Aziz to discuss his future. The general believes his loyalty is about to be rewarded.
আমাকে মহামান্য নিজে বলেছে আমাকে বলে যে আলী সাহেব আপনারটা কি মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী এসে আমার সাথে তখন যখন কথা বলছে বলে যে না আমি চিন্তা করছি there is no other alternative but ইয়াতে এটা
For the general's career to advance, his brother's murder convictions would need to be dealt with.
এবং এই যে আপনার ভাইদের অন্যান্যদেরকে জিনিস করছে এটা কিন্তু ওনার পরিকল্পনা অনুযায়ী এই ধরনের যে তার এটা হওয়ার আগে তাদের এগুলো সব ক্লিয়ার করতে হবে আমাকে নিজে হলো উনি আমার সাথে আলোচনা করে গেছেন
The plan includes getting Aziz's youngest brother out of jail. Joseph had already had his death sentence commuted to life in prison. For 11 years, he'd been on death row.
আর ভাইরে কিন্তু চলে যেতে পারতো না এমন না যে অন্য পার্টি থেকে হলো তাদেরকে তখন বলে নাই এই চলে আসো কিন্তু ওরা তো বেইমানি করে নাই ওরা তো রাজি হয় নাই কখনো ওই রক্ত নাই গেলে বেইমানি করে
In 2018, on the advice of the Prime Minister, Joseph is granted a presidential pardon. Tasneem Khalil is told about the pardon by a source in the military.
I was a bit surprised that why this army person is talking to me about a top criminal getting a pardon, because I did not make that connection instantly. And then he started laughing, and then he said, "You realize one cannot become the chief of the army when his brother is in prison on murder charges."
A month later, General Aziz Ahmed becomes army chief.
I mean, that's when I realized, okay, he's talking about General Aziz, and this is not really about Joseph, the criminal, but it is about Aziz, the general.
It's pretty extraordinary. Sheikh Hasina thought that General Aziz was an appropriate person to appoint as Chief of Army Staff. So you have to ask, why was she so willing to take that risk?
In December, Sheikh Hasina holds another election. General Aziz helps her consolidate power.
In 2018, Army played a very active role and assisted the massive rigging that went on in nearly every voting center in Bangladesh.
The leader of the opposition and Hasina's longtime rival, Khalida Zia, is in jail. Others detained and never seen again.
Sheikh Hasina has been very, very upfront and transparent about her goal of destroying the opposition. She's basically trying to brand herself and her family as being synonymous with the state.
The opposition has been significantly repressed. They can barely function as an opposition. The law enforcement authorities have been able to act with tremendous impunity in relationship to extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances, which have to some extent become systemic now within the whole way in which the country operates.
The I Unit has obtained documents that reveal how Bangladesh's security forces gather information on Sheikh Hasina's opponents. The files include a contract to purchase spyware dated June the 26th, 2018, the day after General Aziz took control of the army. It is stamped and signed by the Directorate General Defence Purchase, the body charged with buying Bangladesh's military supplies.
In February 2019, I was contacted by a friend of mine who was serving with the DGFI. A group of 4 Bangladeshi officers are visiting Budapest for some official reason.
The officers are from Bangladesh's military intelligence service.
I invited them for dinner. They said they will have 3 more guests with them.
The 3 additional guests include 2 Israelis and an Irish national. But the 2 Israelis, who are intelligence experts, decide not to attend dinner. Only the Irishman gets out.
The Bangladeshi officers introduced me to the guy, and he introduced himself as a contractor for some surveillance equipment company. I heard them discussing about purchasing this spyware, this device that they can basically conduct surveillance on general people's mobile phone. The contractor said that no way that people in Bangladesh should know that this product comes from Israel. And that is when I decided to turn on my recorder.
My company is based in Singapore, so I am the selling agent.
The middleman for the deal is James Maloney from Sovereign Systems.
So we can supply Wi-Fi interception, as well as cellular, as well as video surveillance.
The documents confirm that Bangladesh is indirectly buying surveillance equipment from a company in Israel. PIC6 was founded by former Israeli intelligence experts. Bangladesh has no diplomatic relations with Israel and cannot legally trade with it. The Bangladesh passport prohibits travel to Israel. Bangladesh has the world's 4th largest Muslim population. It says it won't recognize Israel until there's an independent Palestinian state. The Bangkok-based Maloney acts as the facilitator. But even his company's website includes no reference to PIC6.
It's from Israel, yeah. So we don't advertise that technology. We don't put the cellular interception or Wi-Fi interception on the website. We're very careful about our public profile.
The Israelis train the 4 Bangladesh intelligence officers in a warehouse outside Budapest. We've blurred the images of the Bangladeshi officers. James Maloney is in the middle. We've been unable to identify the 2 Israeli intelligence experts. PIC6 did not respond to our request for comment. The spyware's manual describes the P6 Intercept, also called an IMSI catcher or Stingray, as a mobile phone monitoring system.
It behaves like a cell tower, so all of the phones in a certain area are going to connect to it, and it's going to be capable of intercepting communications. Everything you're doing on your phone, text messages, phone call, but also the website you visit, are going to be intercepted. Up to 200 or 300 mobile phones can be connected to it simultaneously. The specific model is also capable of interfering with the communications. So you're going to be able to change the content of a text message. You could be spoofing the identity of someone.
Israeli technology can now be used to monitor and quell further protest.
It is a tool of mass surveillance. The sort of use we've seen is to kind of identify groups of people and to determine the networks that exist. So you know there's one person who's going to be there. You're going to the place, whether it's a protest again or a gathering, and you're looking at everybody who's in the area. And so you can keep investigating and having more people under surveillance at the same time.
The technology is very aggressive and intrusive. You don't want the public to know that you're using that equipment.
The final contract contains the condition that the supplier and the Bangladesh military sign a non-disclosure agreement. It also hides its origin. Instead, it states, made in Hungary.
Knowledge is power. So if you know what people are saying, where they're going to meet up, what they're planning to do, you can know a lot of things. And then you have the power to act.
Haris claims he can use Bangladesh's security services to monitor the phones of rivals. He says a paramilitary unit called the Rapid Action Battalion tracked a phone for him. The head of RAB at the time is Benazir Ahmed, here with Haris's brother Joseph after his release from prison. Haris says he's used RAB to track a phone and make an arrest.
ফোন করছি আমি ওর নাম্বার পাই আমি তোরা ভাই মাইরা লামু হ্যাঁ কিন্তু তোরা মারবো না কি লিয়া জানো মাইরা লাইলে তো তুই বুঝবি না কষ্টটা
Salim Pradhan was convicted of gambling offences and jailed for 6 months.
ওর একটা গার্লফ্রেন্ড আছে গার্লফ্রেন্ডে ফিট করছি গার্লফ্রেন্ডে ইনফরমেশন দিছে মোবাইল ট্র্যাকিং করাইছি ওরা
In April 2020, Benazir Ahmed moves from RAB to become the most powerful policeman in Bangladesh.
ওরা কাজ করে আমরা গুন্ডা আছে পুলিশ আছে পুলিশই তো আমরা গুন্ডা গুন্ডার লাগে না তো গুন্ডা হন পুলিশ যার পুলিশ লাইন আছে যার প্রশাসন আছে এই হন গুন্ডা
Haris prefers not to attract attention by directly involving his brother.
কি করতে আর খামোশা খাকি পোশাকের মধ্যে ঢুকে বসে থাকবো হিসাবটা বুঝছে সে অমুক আছে তমুক আছে আইজি আছে এবং তা আমাকে তো দরকার হয় না
He says he's involved in a network of corruption, placing policemen in jobs that earn bribes and paying a cut to their superiors.
আমি আপনার এয়ারপোর্ট থানার ওসি মিনিমাম 10 কোটি টাকা 5 কোটি টাকা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ট্রান্সফারের টাকাটা খাইল হোম মিনিস্টার আইজি পুলিশ কমিশনার তিনজন মনে করেন 5 কোটি টাকা কন্ট্রাক্ট করলে হয়তো 3 কোটি টাকা দিয়ে 2 কোটি টাকা আমরা এটি কখন যায় বুঝছেন এই হলো কাহিনী
In Mohammadpur, the district where the Ahmed clan grew up, there's further evidence the brothers are using the Rapid Action Battalion to serve their own ends. A local politician, Mizan Rahman, is arrested. Although he's in Sheikh Hasina's party, the Awami League, he's also the brother of Mustafa Rahman, the man murdered by Haris, Joseph, and Anis.
I heard the bullet. It's really very shocking news for us. And I didn't know why.
Mahdi was a boy when his uncle was murdered.
It's a very terrible moment. It's a brutal murder.
He now lives abroad. He says General Aziz is using RAB to punish his family. It was his uncle's testimony that sent Joseph to prison, and Haris and Anis on the run.
Most of the people who is involving in RAB, like Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel, they are really close to General Aziz. If General Aziz said, yeah, okay, do it, so that they can do it, because they had the command of General Aziz.
People in Bangladesh are scared to death of RAB. If RAB is after them, they will run away. And we've seen many cases of human rights activists, women's rights activists, even internal critics inside the Awami League who have fled the country because they heard RAB was going to come knocking at their door.
He has the power of Bangladesh Army. He has the power of his brothers because they are gangsters. They are mafia.
In a nearby ward in Mohammadpur, a young member of the Ahmed clan is running for election. Asif Ahmed is the nephew of General Aziz and son of Anis, who lives in Kuala Lumpur. In January 2020, Asif launches his political career. He wins on an anti-corruption platform.
এবং দুর্নীতিটা আশা করি অনেক কমে আসবে আমাদের মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী দুর্নীতি বিরুদ্ধে যেভাবে অভিযান চালাচ্ছে সেটার ভয়ে অনেকে হয়তো ইনশাআল্লাহ সামনে দুর্নীতি করার সাহস রাখবেন না আমি তাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ জানাই এরকম শক্ত একটা পদক্ষেপ করার জন্য নিজের দলের লোকজনকে সে ছাড় দেয়নি এই দুর্নীতি বিরুদ্ধে অভিযান করার জন্য ধন্যবাদ
At the grounds of the Army's national headquarters in Dhaka, a high society wedding. The groom, dressed in gold, is General Aziz Ahmed's eldest son.
I didn't expect him to be dancing quite like that. Well, that's Aziz. That is Harris. Harris is absconding for murder, and here he is at a big society wedding with the Chief of Army Staff there.
As well as Haris, Anis is visiting from Malaysia.
This is jaw-dropping stuff. Like, these are gangsters wanted by Bangladesh police officially, and they're attending a wedding, and the army chief is right there. They're partying, really.
The country's senior military officers, political elite, and foreign dignitaries are in attendance. And the youngest of the brothers, Joseph, convicted of murder but pardoned, is also here.
Oh, wow, that's Bangladesh's president.
The pardon came from the president, Mohammed Abdul Hamid.
The president of Bangladesh is at a wedding with these two absconding criminals and who should be arrested.
Anis's son is also celebrating. He's the emerging politician campaigning on an anti-corruption ticket.
The next generation is properly in place. If the same regime continues, we can see that the second generation of these people would take place and turn Bangladesh into an absolute mafia state. I feel that I have been relieved of a great responsibility that I had to share the truth, to expose these culprits to the world. And of course, I am fearful. I feel afraid. I am feeling scared that they will come after me.